Adele? Adele? Adele?
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon. Oh, that's a sorry, poor one. Good afternoon, everybody. Right, my name's Adele, and I run a little business in Birmingham. My place of residence is Birmingham. So forgive me, Londoners, but I'm a Birminghamite, yes? And before I even start, what my dear sister has said is exactly what I'm going to be talking about, which is values. So I will look at that in a little bit. But just to give you a praise to who I am and why I'm here, I'm an ordained minister in Christian faith, and I do a lot of work in the community. I really believe in going to community stuff and just getting out there and doing stuff, because sometimes we talk the talk and we just don't walk it. So some of us have to go through stuff to actually walk the walk. And so my own life was I would say I was a walking dead. And that means I actually was going through stuff and I felt as if I was dead. I really did. I was numb, completely numb in it. And so I think Hanifa and those have asked me to speak about my personal journey. And then I'll wrap it up about values, because that's the area that I wanted to really speak on. And how you can lose your value. You can lose who you are. We value things. We value this, we value this more than ourselves. When we ask, how much is this phone? How much does this cost? We can say, oh yeah, it costs a lot of money. But when you say, how much are you worth? We have no idea. We have no idea. And so that is a really sad case of where life is, where we don't even know our own value. And so I realized that in my own journey, that as much as I was intellectual and I had all the accolades and everything else, but still there were still broken places. Still, this priceless thing here still had brokenness. And that's the thing, that we can be so broken and still get on with life. We can still cover it up with the makeup and everything. We can even cover it with the way we sound, but we're still broken. We can still go home and cry. Even after today, we can say it's a great thing we heard, and we can still have brokenness. And I found that with myself, where I went through the same thing as yourselves, the domestic violence, the homelessness twice, the whole shebang. And even when I went to my sisters, they said, I'm sorry, I can't put you up. I can't do this. And I thought, well, it's easy to say it, but it's so hard to do it. That's what I'm saying. The walk is so hard. It can be easy to say, yes, I love you, sister. I love you. But then when it comes to the crunch, do you really walk that? Can that person still knock the door and say, I'm hungry, I need this? And that's what I found out. I still found out that I was still hungry, and I still had to go up and say things at the pulpit, still had to do things, and yet go home hungry. And I thought, what's going on? This is an oxymoron. This doesn't sound right. But I was going through a process to learn how to live on this death walk. And that taught me how to value me. That even when nobody shouts, or even when people say, especially us black people, we can really look like we don't like something. When we don't like something, we will tell you. We will tell you. And so I had to learn to be dead to that. Because if you don't, you won't do anything. If you wait for someone to make you feel good, you won't do anything. So I had to learn to do it, even though, despite, I still had to do it. And some of us don't want to do that. We want to rise, but I always know with anything that's rising, it's gravity. Gravity will always push against whatever's rising. So when we say that we're rising, you have to have gravity. And so I had to have pressure, because pressure makes diamonds. And so I had to have pressure, because some of us don't want that, because we want the rising. And people who looked at my life and said, look at her now, she's doing this, she has radio station, she has this, she has that. But they didn't know the pressure that came with it. And then when I said, especially when people want it, I said, please take it. And take the mess as well. Take all of it, because it comes with it. It's a package. And so throughout developing that package, I became someone who now understood valuing me. And it didn't take accolades. It didn't take anything. All that was stripped away. Because sometimes even when you have stuff, because people, everything when they have stuff, I had to learn that it's not stuff that makes me. We can ask for things, but it's not those things that we should value. Value is not in things, but yet we have become very materialistic. So when things are stripped away, the person wants to kill himself. Oh, I want to kill myself. Oh, I want to throw myself off the cliff. Where is your grounding? Yeah, I had to learn that. I had to learn where's my grounding. Despite what I knew, despite my intellect, despite my degrees, everything else, I had to learn to be grounded in me. And so I just want to encourage you to value you. Next time you look in your room at your house and you say, oh, this is a pretty house. No. Look in the mirror. This is a pretty me. Yeah? Because if the house is gone, yeah, don't feel sorry for you. Say this is a new day that I can start again. That's the thing. But when you go in and think, oh, I haven't got this and I haven't got that, remember me. Homeless twice, the whole lot. You might have seen me walking somewhere. Oh, that's God knows. Yeah, I was one of the embarrassments, but now I'm not an embarrassment. Yeah, the same thing that was a mess is now a message. That's the difference. That's the difference. And it's the same with your life. It's the same with your life. No matter what the mess is, it is a message. It is a message for someone. And I've learned that through this, God has used it for Cancer Research UK. They put me on some national billboard or whatever. I had some guy come up from London to do some videoing and put it on Classical FM, said we want to do a composition in your name. I didn't even like classical music and do it. Now I like classical music, yeah? Somebody been honored in my name, I thought, why not? Because when you value, honor precedes value.
Yes.
You didn't catch that. Honor precedes value. Many of us want honor, but we don't value ourselves. How can somebody honor what you don't value? If you don't value it, how can somebody honor it? I had to learn that as well. So through my journey and through my experiences of life, I've learned that, you know what, it is really down to me. How I'm going to do me. How I'm going to do me. Because how I do me is how I'm going to love my neighbour.
That's right.
That's how I know if you love your neighbour. Because we can say I love you, but unless you show it, it means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So it takes sometimes going through a death walk to know your value. I'll end with this. I was reading about a gentleman who had this big vase in his house, and he kept it up in one. You know, our parents used to have them all kind of wardrobe something, you know. Oh, you didn't have one of those? I did. One of them with glass and everything. Everything, you couldn't touch it. All right, and he was in the front room and you couldn't go near it. One of them there. And basically he had one of those, and he, it was carried on from one generation to the next, and he had it. And he died, and his family obviously wanted to sell off everything. And this person who looked at this vase says, hold on a second, this is like something to me. And they took it to an auction, and they sold it for 53 million. Yeah, 53 million. Can you imagine how the family felt?
Oh my God.
And this was something they hardly dusted, they hardly looked at it, but they didn't know the treasure was inside their home. Do you know that sometimes you don't even know what treasure's inside of you?
Yes.
You have no idea. And so until somebody else sees it, then you will say, look, I didn't even recognize it was there. That's only something that you put a price on. Your life is priceless. Thank you for listening. You're welcome.
That's right. I don't know why they call Birmingham strong. A lot of the brothers, and sisters, they refer to Birmingham as Birmingham strong. Well, am I glad I can come up here today? That's right. Yes. Wow. So it's so beautiful, sister. I love your energy.